What's going on, APUSH people? We have another document analysis for you today. This one is breaking down King Andrew I political cartoon. A very famous cartoon that I'm sure you've seen, but we're going to make sure you understand it completely and can analyze it properly. All right, so here is the political cartoon. Take a moment, look at it. It says, "Born to command, had I been consulted, King Andrew I of veto memory around." You see Andrew Jackson in king's attire. He has veto in it. He has a veto in his left hand, and he is standing on top of the Constitution of the United States of America, which is ripped up. And you also have internal improvements, U.S. Bank that he is standing on top of as well. So not the most friendly depiction of Andrew Jackson. Okay, so some document analysis questions. What is the point of view of the cartoon? Again, when you see point of view, think positive, negative, and be able to explain how you know. Clearly, this is a negative image of Andrew Jackson, and he is depicted as a king. Not the best thing to be depicted as 60 years after the American Revolution. And he's also standing on top of the Constitution, which is ripped up. So it's not painting him in that positive of a light. What political party would support the image above? The next question you should be thinking about when analyzing documents is who would support this, who would not support this. So this would obviously be somebody who is against Andrew Jackson. Gee, what political party was against Andrew Jackson? You know it. It is the Whig Party, and they were created in response to King Andrew Jackson after he vetoed the third bus in 1832. So what political party would oppose the image above or go against the idea of Andrew Jackson being a king? That would be the Democratic Party, his own party. So would the following people or groups agree or disagree with the depiction of Andrew Jackson in the image, and why? So we're taking this a step further. We're applying this to individual people. Well, Native Americans such as the Cherokees, would they think that Andrew Jackson is a king and not a nice leader and not a very good leader? Absolutely they would. They would agree. Remember, Jackson forced them to move west, which ultimately led to the Trail of Tears. And he did this in spite of the Supreme Court saying that they did not have to move. So that's something that a king would do, not enforcing a Supreme Court decision. So individuals that oppose the Bank of the United States or the bus. So if you did not like the bus, would you agree with this cartoon? And the answer is no. They would disagree because Jackson vetoed the bus. They would appreciate him vetoing the bus, even though the Supreme Court 13 years earlier said that it was constitutional. They still would agree. They would disagree with this image because Andrew Jackson hated the bus as well. John C. Calhoun and his supporters. So we have John C. Calhoun here. Would he agree with Andrew Jackson being depicted as a king? He was Andrew Jackson's vice president, but the answer is yes, he would agree with it. Remember, Jackson threatened to hang him and others that wanted to nullify the tariffs of 1828 and 1832. John C. Calhoun wrote that South Carolina exposition and protest, which encouraged states to nullify the tariff of abominations or tariff of 1828. And Jackson was furious when he found out that Calhoun was leading a movement to overturn these tariffs. Okay, so what are some specific historical examples that could support the depiction of Andrew Jackson in the cartoon? If you see this in a short answer, they're going to want you to provide some info, some specific info that would support the depiction. Well, you have him defying the Supreme Court, as we talked about, and forcing natives to move west. Jackson also provided jobs to political supporters, the idea of the spoils system, and he gave it to supporters, not necessarily how qualified they were. Jackson vetoed the bus recharter because he did not like it, not because he thought it was unconstitutional. He was the first president to veto something because he didn't like it, not because he thought it was unconstitutional. And what are some specific historical examples that do not support the depiction of Andrew Jackson in the cartoon? So if you want to say he's not a king, what could you point to? Well, under Jackson, you have universal adult white male suffrage. This increased because of the elimination of property requirements for voting. And Jackson was also seen as a common man president. He was born very poor and made his way to the most powerful person in the nation at the time. All right, guys, that is it. I hope that helped. Make sure you check out many more videos I have on document analysis. I wish you nothing but the best of luck on all your exams and the one in May. Thanks for watching and have a good day.